Can I have your attention, please? Tony Stewart, whose teams performed exceptionally well today during qualifying. Stewart Haas Racing qualifying first. Will be on the pole for the Daytona 500, 10-car of Danica Patrick. And then the fourth fastest time today was turned in by Ryan Newman, driver the number 39 Quicken Loan Chevrolet. And the fifth fastest time was turned in by team owner Tony Stewart, driver the number 14 Bass Pro Shops Mobile One Chevrolet. So all three of your cars are in the top five as far as speeds, Tony. It's got to be just a testament. I heard you outside talking, testament to the hard work, all the commitment to excellence put in by this race team.
Yeah, it really is. Just really proud today more than anything, and very appreciative of everybody at Stewart Haas Racing and the Hendrick Engine Department and Chassis Department for all the work that they have put forth to get ready for Daytona. And this was not only for our organization but for all the organizations and all the teams. This was probably one of the most difficult winters that I can remember. From my 15 years of going through off seasons here, for teams to actually get prepared to come down here to Daytona and to have three cars in the top five like that. I just really, really appreciative and excited that we were able to bring three consistent cars down like this, and so appreciative of the people at Mobile One. I honestly believe that's what made the difference today. We've been working with those guys for 2 years now, and to come down here to Daytona, they work just as hard to help us on the lubricant side as we do on building cars. And I think we make a great team. I think today showed that. It's their commitment too that has helped us get here. So like I say, I'm proud of my teams, my drivers, all of our crews. Greg Zipadelli's just absolutely worked his guts out all winter with the crew chiefs, and Matt Borland and Tony Gibson and Steve Addington. Those guys have had a rough winter trying to get everything ready. So just really excited and real appreciative of their hard work.
Thank you, Tony. We'll take questions. Ed Hinton had his hand up first. Chelsea right there. And then we'll go to Tom Jensen, and then to Stan, and then to Lewis.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. Tony, with these three pretty immaculately prepared cars Danica's talking about and everybody, still, you're accustomed to winning poles. Ryan especially is accustomed to winning poles. Could you talk about the fact you had three great cars out there, but Danica's still the one who had to drive it to the pole?
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. The telecast today was fun because they're showing the dartfish, and we can watch each other's laps. And her car she just did a really good job of carrying speed off of turn two, and where she made all of her time up was down the backstretch. And carrying that speed off of two is a big key to that. And I think all three of us ran great laps, but I mean I don't know if she did something a little different, or if it was Tony Gibson and her guys, but they as a package they did a great job. And it's easy to come down here in your first or second year as a driver and clip the apron trying to run too tight a line or do something and scrub speed off, and that's something that she did an awesome job. Watching her lap, she runs so smooth, and we talked about it I think 2 years ago when we ran the nationwide race together. I said she was probably one of the easiest people to actually push around the racetrack. She runs such a smooth line, and that's what you have to do here to carry speed like she did. And she did a good job. I mean, she did her job behind the wheel for sure.
Let's go to Tom, Stan, Lewis, Holly.
Hi, Tony. Tom Jensen, Speed.com. Congratulations. Historic day today. No secret, you get your engines from Hendrick. They build your chassis. You guys were all faster than the Hendrick cars. What was the difference?
Like I mentioned a minute ago, I honestly believe it was the preparation at our shop, which I don't think we're doing a bunch of stuff different than the Hendrick guys are, but for sure, I mean, our guys did as good a job, obviously, if not better. But I honestly believe, I really truly believe it's the Mobile One products. I mean, those guys have worked, we've been working really hard the last year and trying to find stuff specifically for restrictor plate tracks, and the technology that we get from those guys. I mean, it is so cool to have a partner that not only is painted on the hood of the car, but can actually help us make our race cars go faster. And that's what we've got with those guys. And they've just, the Mobile One people, done an awesome job. And I told them last night, I said they should be proud. I mean, the way we drove from the back to the front, that's, everybody can have the same car. Nobody drove from the back to the front like we did last night, and I think that's what made the difference.
Go Stan, Lewis, Holly, David, and David.
Hey, Tony. Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. With no disrespect to the intensity that you've said has occurred throughout the off-season, was today's effort the easiest part of Speedweeks from a driver's standpoint? And is Thursday's duels maybe the most stressful of what we see from a driver?
I think it progresses. I mean, today definitely is the easiest day, no doubt. Thursday's intense just because, you're trying to win the race, you're trying to get the best finish you can, but at the same time, you're trying to make sure you take care of your race car. Sunday, to me, still's, the 500 is still the most stresses that the driver goes through, but it's definitely no secret. I mean, and the thing is, we say that we don't make a difference today. We all do as drivers, but the thing is, what the stuff that we have to do compared to what we have to do any other week is very fractional as drivers. I mean, we got to hit 3 shifts, and we just got to be smooth for 2 laps. I mean, it's stuff that we're used to having to do for 500 laps at racetracks. So it really is more about what the teams and their preparation. That is what shows up today. Thursday and Sunday, it's their preparation, but it's us making sure that we're doing the right things, and that brings more of us back into the equation by Thursday and Sunday.
We'll go Lewis, Holly, and then David Caravello.
Yeah, straight back, Tony. Lewis Frank Auto Week. Can you balance the pride in ownership of pole winning and top 3 out of the top 5 cars, not to mention financial rewards, against your own envy and desire to win the pole and the race?
I'll be honest. I mean, the pole didn't matter to me personally. It was more as an owner of wanting Danica to be in the top 2 today, and that way she's locked in, and we don't have to worry about what happens on Thursday. To me, my eye's still on Sunday. This next Sunday, not this Sunday. So ownership side this Sunday. Next Sunday, I want it from the driver's side.
David Caravello. I'm sorry, Holly.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. Tony, this is going to be a very big story nationally for the next week because of the historical significance and all of that. And obviously, this is good for your team as well because they did prepare it, and Danica has given full credit to them. But could you talk a little bit about the attention and how big this is really going to be here for the next few days?
Well, you guys know the significance more than we do, but we know it's, just the history books in itself. That's something also as an owner that we're proud to be a part of that. We're proud for her too. It's a huge accomplishment, and it's not like it's been 15 or 20 years she's been trying to do this. It's her second trip to Daytona here in a Cup car, and she's made history in this sport. So that's stuff that we're proud of being a part of with her, and it's something that she should have a huge amount of pride in. It's never been done, and there's only one person that can be the first to do anything. It doesn't matter how many do it after you do and accomplish that same goal. The first one that does it always has that little bit more significance to it because you were the first.
Go to David, and then to David Newton.
David Caravello, NASCAR.com. Tony, from your experience here, when you have a car good enough to win the Daytona 500, when do you know it? Do you know it already this early? Does it take Thursday, or does it even get to next week? Yeah, I think it's more next Thursday. It gives you an idea. But even at that, you still only see half the equation. You got the second qualifying race. So, I think the bigger the packs are, the more things change. And, like I say, we'll see half the field on each race Thursday, and then Sunday you're going to see 43 cars. So
You know, I think you learn early in the 500 what you got, and then it's a matter of positioning yourself at the end of the race and middle parts of the race to be in the right spot at the end. So I think you do. I think you do find out, but I don't think it's as much as we would like to think it's Thursday with these cars. I don't think it's going to be Thursday like it has been the last couple of years. I think it's going to be transferred to Sunday before you really know.
David Newton, raise your hand there. Chelsea, please.
Sure, we don't have to go now. Or can I just get a mulligan and take a pass or something?
Let's see what he says here.
I can't wait. This ought to be
I was going to be very complimentary to you too. I mean,
I'm sure you
hear all the great teams about chemistry you have and your organization, and I've talked to a lot of people in your organization the last couple of days, and they talked about the chemistry you guys have over there. How would you describe it? It's almost like fraternity-like. You guys are so close, and can you just talk about that and how it's been able to develop so quickly?
Well, this will be probably a good soundbite for you guys. I think Danica's got actually 2 boyfriends. She's got Ricky, and I think she's got Tony Gibson, because they are all but holding hands in the shop every day when they're there together. So, and it's good. I mean, it's good for me to see as an owner. I like to see that chemistry that you're talking about. And Ryan's happy being back with Matt. You know, Tony and Danica are happy, and I'm happy with Steve, and that's something that having 3 teams that the drivers and the crew chiefs are getting along and happy to be paired up where they're at. That's something that goes a long way, and you know, and it's not this early that we'll really see that, but you'll see that in the first 8, 10, 12 weeks of the season of how powerful those pairings really are. My personality, whether it's good or bad, transfers everywhere we go. But I think we've always had the mindset. I mean, you know, I learned a lot from Joe Gibbs, and I've said that every year that I've been a car owner. I've learned a lot from him, and you know, we said it as a 2-car team, and we're still saying it as a 3-car team, that we're one unit at the shop, and then when we go to the racetrack, we're 3 separate race teams. But we still have that mindset that we're all working with each other for a common cause and common goal. And you know, I that's what makes days like today so special, when you have all 3 teams that you know, run that well together. You know, we're all sharing in the success. Our team's sharing with Danica, and Ryan's team sharing with Danica, and she's sharing our success of being in the top 5. So we've got a lot to be proud of, and those pairings are a part of that.
Al Pierce and then Mike Vega.
Yeah, Tony, Al Pierce from Auto Week. One of your fellow team owners this morning said that the media, to some extent, and the general public underestimate how good she's going to be this year, and that she may not be top 5 every weekend, she may not be top 10 every weekend, but she'll be a solid top 15 runner everywhere. Is that kind of how you've got it figured, or do you know more about it than we do?
Oh no, I've listened to you guys. You guys definitely know more than we do. But honestly, I mean, I honestly don't look at it as a number. I mean, I'm not going to say top 15 or top 12 or anything like that. That to me is a number. More so than the finishing position, I think, is just looking through the course of the race. I mean, there's so many things that can happen, and something happens at the end of the race that can throw that number off. I think it's just watching the course of the race. But I think she's got potential. I think she's got a lot to look forward to, and I think she's going to turn some heads this summer. And you know, whether it's consistent or whether it's 1 or 2 races at a time, none of us really know. I mean, it's as much my guess as your guess at this point. But you know, I believe in her, the team believes in her, and our organization believes in her, and we're going to do everything we can to make her as consistent and as fast as we can every week. And but the thing is, we're not putting any. The thing that I caution everybody is everybody puts high expectations, and since she's got here, everybody has put her under such a strong microscope that, you know, nobody would have worried about. Nobody said, well, Tony Stewart's going to be a top 15 car every week the first or second year. You know, nobody cared, but everybody's so focused on what she's going to do. You just strictly have to wait and see. I mean, it's still a rookie year for her, and you know, that makes it very hard to predict where she's going to be. But you know, we feel like that she's got the tools to and the mindset to go out and do a good job each week.
Mike?
Tony, given how she performed yesterday in the practices, limited time she had out in the track there When you walked out of here, did you get an inkling that this was possible, that she was a strong contender for the pole?
All you had to do was look at the time. I mean, she ran the fastest lap of the day. So, the hard thing, we knew it was possible. The thing that we didn't know was anybody not showing their hand till today. And, after watching everybody's runs today, I think everybody pretty much showed their hand yesterday, either in the first session or somewhere in the second session, and showed what they had and knew what they could run. So, if I'd have known today was going to be, like it shook out, and that I would have rested a lot easier last night, I guess is my point, if I'd have known that it was going to shake out like today. But, we felt confident that even if she didn't get the pole, that she was going to be able to stay in the top six, I thought at that point.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
She said that she was nervous. Did you detect any nervousness from her today when you saw her?
No, like I said, I mean, the talent that she had to use a fraction of it to run her 2 laps. So if she was nervous, it was more for the guys than it was about her ability to what she had to go out there and do. So, but I didn't really detect it. I mean, she was texting me after the Unlimited last night and talking about the race, and seemed like her normal, joking, having fun self.
Mark Long, then we'll go to Dwight, and then we'll finish with Nate. Go ahead.
Mark Long with AP. Tony, undoubtedly there'll be naysayers who point to the fact that the car at Daytona is more important than the driver. Why is that not totally accurate, and does it even matter on a day like this?
Well, I think I've touched on that earlier. I mean, all of us can pretty much do the same thing here. We're using a fraction of the talent that we all have at this level to go out and do 2 laps of qualifying. That percentage changes later in the week. Now you can have the fastest car, but if you don't know where to be and when to be there, you can have the fastest car and be at the back, or you can have a car that may not be the fastest and still be running up front because you know where to be and when. So naysayers are naysayers. Naysayers are people that aren't happy with their lives and have to try to bring somebody else's life down to their level. So I'm never really worried about the naysayers.
We'll go Dwight, and we'll finish with Nate.
Dwight Drum, RaceState.com. Tony, as far as your team goes, with all the changes and everything, and with the testing as it went along, did you get a sense of feeling that your team was maybe a little bit ahead of everybody else, or getting any kind of momentum going?
No, because you just honestly don't know. Like we said, you don't know who's showing their hand. And we used to come down here to testing, and when we still were when we just had a minimum spoiler angle, I mean, guys would run 2 or 3 degrees extra spoiler angle in it just to make it look like they didn't have speed, and then when we'd come back, they would lay it down for qualifying where it was legal and where it was at the best. So you just never know what people are doing, and you don't know what they're doing at test sessions. A lot of testing is A/B things. It's not necessarily trying to run the fastest lap as much as you're just trying A/B changes to see what works, what doesn't work, and then when you go back home, you look through all that data, and then you put the package together for what you're going to bring back down for the race. So you can look at what the testing results are, but they're never 100% of what could happen when you come back down for a race weekend.
Final question, Nate.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. Tony, Kevin Harvick was asked about Danica's run today, and he said that what was great about it was that he was able to talk about the racing. And I know that Thursday you expressed some concerns about the relevancy of some questions you were getting. Is it nice for you to know that for the majority of the next week, the headlines are probably going to say Daytona 500 pole winner Danica Patrick and nothing else, or does that matter ultimately?
Well, you guys are in charge of what's going to be the headlines each day, so I'm excited about this week. I mean, I thought last night was a fun race to run. I'm glad we're not actually pushing each other. The cars still get a little nervous when guys are pushing, but it didn't seem as effective, and it actually seemed to be the opposite of what you would think. I mean, versus when we used to push, we used to gain speed. It seems like when we actually physically are pushing each other, the cars slow down, and you'd have to get Newman in here for that. It's way over my head and way too smart for me. I don't understand why they slow down when we push, but they do. We had 2 different cases last night where we actually had somebody pushing us, and it slowed the speed of the car down. So I don't know what the reason for that is, but it was pretty consistent across the board from manufacturer to manufacturers. But you know, I saw Jim Campbell sneak in over there, and he's somebody that should be really proud today. I mean, Chevy's done an awesome job. I mean, I think for once it's probably easy today to sit there and talk about the engine builder and talk about the chassis builders and the people at the shop. And today we actually get to thank our manufacturers again for building us a car that is a fast race car again. It's not just a car with stickers on it. We actually have an SS that's a production car that's fast, and that was proven today too.
Tony Stewart, congratulations. Strong effort today from Stewart Haas, and we look forward to the rest of this